Hi, I'm Steve Durham with EnviroCon Termite Pests. Today we're going to talk about different pests you have around your home. We're going to start in the kitchen. The kitchen is where there's a lot of food that you bring in, that you clean up, and small tiny pieces can fall off. Something that's very small to you may feed a roach or an ant for a week or more. So this is where there's a lot of food, a lot of water, and is very, very attractant to ants and roaches. We also have stored products here, and therefore stored product pests. Your grain moths, your flower beetles and grain beetles will certainly be in the pantry around your grain type items. And then there's silverfish in the kitchen. Let's start off talking about ants and roaches and what we can do around the sink to help prevent that. Now, for insects around the sink, around the stove, the main problem is there's a lot of food, so you're going to get a lot of bugs coming around to eat that food. A residual spray with a good chemical is going to do a lot to help decrease that population as they come into the area. Spraying under the sink, up under the bottom of the sink, and even outside around doors and windows will help protect some of those tiny little cracks and crevices where ants and roaches will come in to feed. We also use a lot of baits. These baits are formulated to mimic, or to, in some cases, be better than food that you may have left around. These little syringes, here is an easy application device. It's actually just a pistol grip, are great for treating around cracks and crevices, doors and windows where ants and roaches may come in. This is a great product. Our industry has made it even better by putting it into an aerosol can. So really we're getting some of the same bait formulations in this aerosol can. It's just a lot easier to apply. I'm actually applying small bits of it right now, and you can see how easy that is. These baits last a long time and are very attractive to ants and roaches depending on the formulation it was designed for. There's also dry baits. Dry formulations of some of the same ingredients are excellent. This is actually a dry powder, and it's great for dusting into holes that you can't see into or can't get into. It's also great for getting behind switches and electrical plates, because this dust will go in there and it will give ants and roaches something to eat for a long, long time. Now we're going to talk about some of the other insects we may see, some of the stored product pests, the flower beetles, the grain beetles, that type of thing. Let's move over to the pantry and take a look in there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about stored product pests. What are stored product pests? Well, they are pests that get into the products that are typically stored. Grains. So your grain products are going to be your cereals and your crackers, even spaghetti. We'll take a look here. We will often find flower beetles, Indian grain moths, Indian meal moths, I'm sorry, and different grain beetles in the pantry. You bring them in from the grocery store. Some of the grocery stores, even some of the producers, sometimes don't control their products well enough to keep all of the products out. So what do we do for those? A lot of times we will use, again, our old spray can to spray appropriate chemicals in and around the pantry. Normally all of these products, all of your food will be removed, and we'll get in there to try to control any of the larvae or eggs that happen to be not inside the product that they're currently eating on. The most important thing is to go through these products, especially your grain products. Here is rice. We'll find rice weevils, another stored product pest in the rice. So you want to pull them out. You want to do a good inspection of all of the products inside the bags to see if there's any weevils or any types of beetle or larva feeding on that product. If there are, you discard this. Get it out of the house, get it sealed into a trash bag, and get it out. Once you've identified the products that are affected and they're gone, we're going to remove these products. We're going to do a good spray treatment inside. For long control, long-lasting control, we can use pheromone traps. These actually will attract the adult forms of the different insects. This is simply a sticky trap, but the key ingredient are these pheromone tablets that give off scent that will attract the insects to come into these traps and get stuck on the glue traps. Again, EnviroCon has access to the different types of pheromone attractants that are needed for the different pests, and by cleaning out the food that they're eating on, by doing a good residual spray, it's an easy way for EnviroCon to get in and take care of your problem. Really painless effort on your part. Let's talk now about some silverfish and then rats and mice that we also see in the kitchen areas. Okay, silverfish get into kitchens, they get into your bathrooms. They eat paper. They like to eat paper, and they're also normally found around moisture sources. Silverfish normally relatively straightforward to control. Again, proper spray insecticides will help, along with silverfish baits. These are relatively non-toxic to us, to you and your children and your pets. So if a dog were having to get into this, I would not be concerned about it. We just place these in the drawers, close the drawers, let the silverfish eat their way to silverfish heaven. One of the final things we're going to talk about is rodents, certainly in and around the kitchen. Again, it's where the food is. During the winter months especially, it gets cold outside. The rats, the mice want to come in to get warm, and guess what? Bonus, they found a food source. So we certainly use the old standby wooden mouse traps and wooden rat traps, but they have built a better rat trap or a better mouse trap. These are easier for us. They do cost a little more. We at EnviroCon like to use these. We will also use the old wooden traps. We have even special baits that we put in the traps to attract the rats and the mice better than the old standby cheese or peanut butter. Food particles get under the sink or around the sink, behind the stove, behind the refrigerator. These traps, both mouse and rat traps, are excellent at a one-time kill, and then you know where the carcass is. They're easy to remove, and we at EnviroCon do provide the carcass removal service as well. So that kind of sums it up, all the different products or the different pests that we have in and around the kitchen. We're going to move outside and look at some of the problems and some of the ways to stop pests from entering from the outside of the home. Let's go outside.